Good evening, everyone. It's Dr. Schilling, bringing you a fireside chat this evening. Bringing you from the PEMF room, trying to mix it up a little bit. This is the Wednesday Wellness Minutes, and we're excited to talk to you tonight about why people are so sick. Everybody thinks, it's the weather, or they're catching something from somebody else, or something like that. But really, we want to understand that when you boil it down to it, it's all about stress. Best example I can give you is if you look at someone who receives an organ transplant. What do they do before they receive that transplant, right? Before they receive it. They put them on immunosuppressive, which means they suppress their immune system with a bunch of corticosteroids. And they stay on those corticosteroids, those immunosuppressive drugs, for the rest of their life so they don't reject it. It's called anti-rejection medication. It's probably more nuanced than corticosteroids, but you get the general idea. What's important to understand is that your body naturally manufactures corticosteroids from your adrenal glands. I'm sure there are other places in your body that they store them, like your liver and things like that, but when you understand that we can manufacture the suppression or the holding down of our immune system just by enduring stress. And if you look at our lives these days, we're in the 24-hour news cycle. There's something happening every half hour. It's all shock and awe. It's getting your attention. It's keeping you in fear. We're all trying to do too much. We're doing too many activities. Our kids are doing too many things. I just actually reset my daughter. She's just over three and a third at this point. And she's stressed out. I mean, why would a three-year-old be stressed out? But there's enough stuff going on that it has an effect. So we used KNRT to reset her a few minutes ago, and now she's feeling better. So what you want to understand is there needs to be a decrease. So decreasing the amount of stress we're experiencing in life, decreasing the number of things we're doing and things of that nature. Sounds like our cleaning crews come in to say hi. But we want to understand that if we can do less, do fewer activities, it's really important. It's going to help you be less stressed. So PEMF, what I'm sitting on, this chair right here, I don't have it on because the sound would be annoying for you to listen to. But it's not annoying to feel. It actually is very calming. It helps shift your body into rest, protect, and digest mode. So if we can keep our body in that rest, protect, and digest mode, it will stay out of the fight and flight mode. So our body in fight and flight wants to run, hide, or flee. Run, hide, or attack, excuse me. Fight, hide, or flee. And if you understand that, basically what you want to know is that most of what's happening is we're all walking around with our shoulders up, tense, what's going to happen next. In the old days, we might be running from a saber-toothed tiger, we might hide in a cave. And that saber-toothed tiger might sit outside the cave, and we had to hide out there until it gave up the ghost and ran off. But these days, it's more about your coworker or your brother or your spouse or your father or your mother or whoever is in your life, that they're the metaphorical saber-toothed tiger that's causing you that stress on a daily basis and raising your cortisol level, which then in turn, as we spoke about, decreases your immune level, which means you're more susceptible to the bacterias, molds, funguses, parasites, and viruses that already live in you and on you. They're not new. You're not catching anything from anybody else. They're already living in you and on you. But when you get stressed out enough is when they become unregulated, shall we say. So whether you do prayer or meditation, whatever you do to disconnect from the outside world, to decrease your stress level is really important on a daily basis. Adopt the motto of do less. It sounds crazy, but have your kids in fewer activities. Try to do fewer things. Let people know, like, hey, I don't think that's going to happen, but I'll do my best to get there. I'll let you know if something changes. PEMF is one of the most profound things that I've ever experienced as far as a healing modality. It literally shifts your nervous system into that rest, protect, and digest and recuperate mode. So we use it on the liver, the kidneys, the gut, the joints, whatever it is. We have these two specifically for our regenerative medicine candidates, the regenerative cellular therapy, who come in and they're getting their joints restored and things like that. There is no more powerful. This is, the yellow box back here. We call it lightning in a box. And the reason we call it that is because lightning strikes the earth and charges the earth. And the earth has an electromagnetic field. As you probably remember, the earth has a north and south pole. And that means it's basically a magnet. And every cell in your body has a north and south pole and is like a magnet. So we call it lightning in a box because it takes the same energy that comes off the earth, that electromagnetic field, and we stimulate our cells to turn on our mitochondria, which are the cell energy producers. And when you have 75 trillion cells producing energy, guess who's going to have energy? You. Because we're basically a a walking petri dish. We're all just a bunch of cells mixed together, working together to find our way through life.
Kendra and Dana say hi.
Hi, Dana. Hi, Kendra. What we want to understand is whatever it is for you to decrease that stress level. I personally am not concerned with what's going on in Congress or any impeachment trials or any mayhem in Syria and things like that. We focus our energy here in the clinic on our participants just like you, and decreasing their stress and helping them get over their limiting beliefs and helping them balance the unhealthy relationships in their life. That's really helpful, because if you're not really able to put your finger on what the stressor is or who it is or how it's affecting you and how it's guiding your life vehicle, your body and your mind into the gutter, into the ditch, if you will, like having a negative pattern, it's really hard to overcome that. So when you become self-aware, then you can take action in your life. So whether you're doing things like QNRT and brain training to decrease your stress level and help your brain operate better, whether you're taking calming herbs that we have here to lower your nervous system stress, whether you're using PMF, whether you go home and you do prayer or meditation, it's all about disconnecting from the outside world and determining, or rather maybe a better word is deciding, that you're going to find a way to stop the outside world from controlling your inside environment. Because if we're walking around, like we mentioned before, with our shoulders in our ears and we're tense and we're constantly in fight or flight, our digestion's going to be thrown off. We won't be able to sleep at night. You can't have restful sleep when your brain is worried about the next attack, right? And that could be, like we mentioned, like the coworker, the family member, the spouse, whatever it is. You just cannot get into a deep sleep mode because your brain is on high alert. And if you're watching the news before bed, you're probably giving yourself a double whammy, okay? So some helpful things you can do, as we mentioned before. Do PEMF. Help recharge your cells. Help calm your body down. Put it in rest, protect, and digest mode. Do prayer or meditation. Disconnect from the outside world. Do fewer things, fewer activities. Take on less things in your life. Learn to say no to things that are not critical for your quality of life. Tell them, hey, it's probably not going to happen, but I'll let you know if it does. It's a really easy phrase you can use to help calm things down, take the stress off you, because we all want to be engaged with our loved ones and our friends and family and say, yeah, man, I'll be there. The next thing you know, you have 3, 4, 5 different obligations, and now you're stretched out. And then you got hockey practice or soccer practice or tennis or underwater basket weaving or whatever it is, right? You need to understand that life's pace, the speed at which your hamster on a treadmill or the wheel spinning, is going to determine the quality of the inside of your health. Okay, so when you can de-stress, that's probably the most important thing you can do. Have a guaranteed time at night when you turn off your phone. I'm just as guilty. Like, I work into toward 10 o'clock at night, but I would love to decide to shut it down at 9 and be in bed by 9:30. So when I get up at 4:45 or 4:30, I don't even have to think about how many hours at night I got sleep before, because I'm already up. The opportunity clock, as we call it, doesn't even wake me up. I'm already up and ready to go. So figure out what system works for you. A good way to think about it is, if you want to get restorative sleep, every minute before midnight is worth 3 minutes after. So if you don't go to bed till 12, 1, or 2, it takes you 3 times as long to sleep after midnight in order to get the same restful sleep you got before midnight. I believe it was Benjamin Franklin who said, an early person early to bed, early to rise makes a person wealthy, healthy, and wise, is basically, I believe, what he said. When I made that switch, it was one of the most profound experiences. You have time to yourself. Most people are not up. If they are, they're very few and not a lot of people. It's quiet. You can center yourself before your day starts. It's not anything less than 3 days a week that I'm in here at 5 o'clock in the morning doing PEMF on my body and working through participant notes and things like that. That's kind of where I center myself half the week, and then I'm in the gym the rest of the week, because that's how I feel best. I get my mind turned on, the juice is flowing. But whatever that is for you, like get up and go for a walk. One of the best things you can do for increasing your brain fuel is brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF for short, is to exercise in the morning. You're going to increase your metabolism. You're going to increase your BDNF. You're going to increase your metabolism and actually growth hormone and testosterone. And testosterone is not, it's funny, people think too much testosterone, oh my gosh, it's those crazy people driving on the highway that they're cutting you off and, road rage and stuff like that. It's actually the people that have too little testosterone that are doing the crazy things. It's counterintuitive, but that's what's happening really. So find your mixture of things for you, because if you want a healthy immune system, which is why we're talking about this, if you want to stay above the fray, if you want to be able to get on a plane and not worried about being encapsulated in a closed airspace and who's sneezing and coughing and carrying on next to you, or the person at work, or you're on the bus, or even when your family members, it's not about hiding and avoiding those people. If you're not stressed, you're not going to be susceptible to that. And so just understand that there are no new bugs, right? You might have to go down to the Amazon rainforest somewhere where nobody's stepped foot, and you might come in contact with a poisonous frog or a spider or a bacteria or something you've never encountered. But you want to understand is that if you can keep your stress down, your immune system will stay strong, which means your energy will be vibrant, and you can pretty much fend off any healing crises, is what we call them here. People call them, I'm getting sick, or I am sick. We call them healing crises, because when your body's symptomatic, that means you're actually healing something. You're not actually sick, you're healing something, because you have to go through a period of stress to become susceptible. Then when you feel the symptoms, your body's actually healing something. So I want to encourage you to flip your mindset on that. And it's not about catching something from somebody else. It's not about being exposed to something new. It's all about how stressed are you, how well do you eliminate your stress rather than manage it. Because who's got time to manage their stress? I don't. I know nobody else does. So just eliminate it. If you need help with that, you do PEMF, you do some calming herbs, you do some QNRT or some brain training, whatever that is. We have the tools to help you. The point is you don't have to suffer unnecessarily. So find the tools for you, find the pattern for you, set your bedtime, have an uncompromising routine where you go to bed at a certain time and you get up at a certain time. You fuel your body well. You give it good greens, good proteins, good oils and things like that. Not in excess, Michael Pollan in Defensive Food. Eat food, mostly plants, not too much. Pretty simple ideas. Okay, there's people that talk about forks over knives. Don't eat too much meat. I mean, you got to find your mix and your balance, right? It's an experiment. Every day is an experiment. If you find that you didn't feel good after eating something and that stressed you out, don't do that tomorrow, right? It's pretty simple. So we hope that these have been helpful ideas. Wanted to bring you kind of a different idea as far as how to approach things and just raise your awareness on what's really causing your illness, because ultimately, if you're not stressed, you're not sick. It's really the simplest point. And the bugs that are in our bodies and on our bodies, James Allen, the author, once said, when the mind is clear, the malevolent microbe is of no consequence, which in layman's terms means if you're not stressed, if you're not worried, if your mind's not tied up in knots, the bugs on our body and in the environment, they're not going to hurt you. They're going to get you, right? So just understand that dump the stress, do fewer things, you will actually enjoy life more because you can be more present in the moment and enjoy life more, okay? So we hope this has been beneficial. Got a couple good ideas Amelia brought up today. We're going to be talking about next week. Can't honestly tell you what they are, but it's not helpful, I know. Teaser alert, I don't know what it is, but we'll send information out about what it is, because we're finding all these common misconceptions people have, and common sense isn't that common anymore. So in this day and age, there's a lot of information out there, but there's very little wisdom. So we're bombarded with information. We're bombarded with people telling you things and do this and do that, and oh my gosh, this supplement over here and that over there. Honestly, I can tell you, having taken, I swear, probably every supplement on the planet, they help, okay? Don't get me wrong. But if you don't manage your internal environment, what you put that helpful supplement into, it's not going to make a lot of difference, okay? So people that are trying to lose weight, you got to figure out why you hold on to weight in the first place. It's mostly cortisol and stress. Figure out what foods are going in your body that are stressing your body. Once again, physical stress, biochemical stress, which comes in the form of nutrients and toxins in the environment, and then emotional stress, relationships, things like that. Those are the three main stressors. That's what we focus on here, the triad of health. Structural, neurological, and metabolic stresses. If you want answers, if you want to understand your body and how to fix that, then you come see us. If that's not where you're at, that's no big deal. We just hope you take action on a proactive manner so you prevent it before it becomes a serious problem. That's really what it is. Our motto is prevention is the cure. Ditch the diagnosis, get back to living and enjoy life, okay? So ditch the stress, ditch the diagnosis, get yourself back on track, let us know how we can help, okay? We'll look forward to seeing you next week for the Wednesday Wellness Minutes.